So today, I will take first, we will have globalization discussion, and then I will do competency-based learning also according to CBS. So let me just start with globalization. I spoke to Krishna Kumar sir. He said I can take globalization. And from tomorrow, he will be taking the session. He will do happy classroom, I think, tomorrow. First, he will do that. So globalization, I'll just share with you. Right. Can you all see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, visible, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So we'll start with globalization. Now, first, when we are teaching globalization, why we need globalization, what is the concept of globalization, how it came about, lot of things we will be touching in this lesson. Oh, I wanted to show you something first. 1 minute. What is the board expecting us to teach when we are doing globalization? Board is expecting us, what are the topics we will cover? First is production. Ma'am, can you see this also on the screen?
No, only
Ma'am.
globalization is
Only
map.
globalization
World
picture
map
is
is
available.
visible.
PPT is visible. Okay, fine. I'll just touch upon the topics which is given by the board in our syllabus. First is production across countries. That is the first subtopic. Second is interlinking production across countries. Third, we will be doing foreign trade and integration of markets. Fourth, what is globalization? Then factors that have enabled or helped in globalization, World Trade Organization, impact of globalization in India, and the struggle for a fair globalization. All these subtopics we are going to cover in this lesson. So let us start with globalization. So Indian markets have transformed in the last 2 decades. If we go back to the 80s, what the market was, when we were younger, in fact, if you imagine the market, how it was, when you go, we didn't have malls. We had normal shops, stationery shop, grocery shop, where we used to get very limited products. Whatever was available in India, we used to get. And even on the roads, if you see, there were not so many cars also. You had either ambassadors or Fiat. But now, after say at present, there are so many varieties of car. We are having so many imported cars, toys also. You have so many varieties of foreign toy available. If you think about juices also, you will have so many types of juices, all foreign things available easily nowadays. So things have changed in a big way. 20 years back, only Indian made goods were available in our market. Now, foreign goods are available in Indian markets also. So there has been a big shift in the conditions of the market. Then what did we see? First, we saw that multinational corporations have suddenly come up. Now, what are these multinational corporations? First, we have to make the children understand the concept of what do you mean by multinational corporations. Can, I don't know, 1 minute, I'll just see. Right. So, multinational corporation is a company that owns or controls production in more than one nation. If you see the textbook, in that just below this topic, they have given an example of how one company, which is USA based, has research and development in one country. It will have assembling in, say, one Latin American country. It is having market all over the world. So different stages of production can be done in different parts of the world. That is what multinational corporations do. And why do they do it? Because they want to get the best benefit, the best profit of each of whatever they're doing. So wherever the cost of production is less, wherever they have to put in less money, they will do that particular stage of production, they will do in that country. So a multinational corporation is a company that owns or controls production in more than one nation. For example, Hindustan Lever Limited, Indian company, Ford Motors, foreign company. Now, the MNCs, what do? They set up offices and factories in those regions where labor, if they require labor, then labor cost, and whenever they require other sources, that is raw materials, wherever it is available at cheap rates, they will set up the factories there. Why do they do it? So that they can reduce the cost of production. If the cost of production reduces, automatically they earn more profit. So, what is the advantage of spreading out production across the borders of their country? So, MNCs divide production process into smaller parts like raw material, assembling, processing, marketing, after sales service, everything they will divide into smaller parts and spread it across the globe. Now, components are produced in countries like China, where labor is available at cheap rate. Then product is assembled in the regions like Mexico and Eastern Europe, which are close to the market. Engineering services and customer care services obtained from countries like India, where technically qualified English knowing people are available in plenty. Thus, by spreading out in so many places, they are minimizing the cost of production, and alongside that, they are maximizing the profit. So, what are the factors that influence the setting up of units by these MNCs? Number one, they need market. So, closeness of market is very, very important. Then, when they're producing something in such a large scale, they want skilled labor, but at cheaper rate. Third, availability of raw material at cheap rate. Again, everything they want at cheaper rate. And fourth, they want government to favor them. So they want favorable government policies to set up these production. Now, to set up any industry, any company, what they need first is money, investment. So the money which is spent to buy assets, such as land, building. Why do we call them asset? Because you can get money after selling them also. They give you money. They are beneficial to us. So to buy these assets, they need land, they need building. So these are the assets they require, machines, other equipment, and they have to invest money in them. So it is called an investment. So the investment by a foreigner, a foreign country, is called a foreign investment. Now, what are the ways in which this MNCs set up or control the production in other countries? So MNCs set up production jointly. They can go into collaboration with a local company, and along with the local company, they will put in their money, and in the name of that local company only, they are producing in another country. So it is joint production where the local company retains their name because the people of their country know that local company. They associate the products with that local company. So the market is ready for them. Only the money, the investment, and the machinery, all this is provided by the MNC. This is one way they are doing it. Secondly, the MNCs can buy up local companies and then expand their production. So whichever company is there, they will just buy them. They will give them a lump sum money and they will buy the company along with the company. They are also buying the units, the factories, and the name of that company also. And thirdly, MNCs give orders for production to small companies of developing countries. Like, for example, Reebok. Reebok is a foreign brand, but we are getting it easily all over India. Now, do you think that Reebok shoe which we are getting in India is the original Reebok which is made in USA? No. What they do is they will tell the local producers to produce, and they will give them all the specifications. This is the quality you should maintain. This is the standard. This type of material you should use. This is the design. When everything is done, they will check everything, whether they have met their specification. Then they are putting their stamp or brand or logo on it. So MNCs give order for production to small companies of developing countries. And the small companies supply products to MNCs. Then the MNC will sell those products in their own brand name. So even if we are buying Reebok, we are buying whatever Adidas and all, they are not original from foreign countries. They are made in India, but they are following the standard of that company and selling it to us. Now, these are some examples of collaboration where India has gone into collaboration like Hero Honda, Maruti Suzuki, and they have become MNC. Thumbs Up, an Indian soft drink company, was purchased by Coca-Cola, right? So a lot of companies, when they can be purchased by foreign companies, that's what we said, one is joint production, one is buying of the. So why there is no B in Thumbs Up? This is a thinking question. Why have they called it Thumbs Up? So we can do a research on this also. Now, sport goods, sport items, bat, ball, cricket bat, football, all these are made in Jalandhar and they are supplied to the multinational companies who will put the stamp. That's all. So the benefit which the local company gets, now why the local companies are setting up joint production with MNCs? What is the motive behind it? Now, MNCs will provide money to the local company for additional investment, like buying machines, etc. So the local company get lot of investment in the form of MNC. And MNCs will also provide them latest technology for production. So this way, the local companies will benefit because of the MNCs. Now, foreign trade integrate markets in different countries and promote globalization also. So foreign trade enables a producer to sell his products in the market of other countries. For example, the ready-made garments produced in India are sold in Europe and America. Again, foreign trade enables a buyer to buy the goods produced in other countries. So when we have an open market, then goods from other countries are coming to our country. Our products are going to foreign countries. So Japanese cars are sold in many countries of the world because foreign trade is easy now. So prices, when these type of foreign trade takes place, what is the benefit of it? Prices of goods for similar goods will become same in many countries because if they keep a higher price, people will not buy that product. Suppose in the market, if you have wheat, Indian wheat of 50 rupees and say USA wheat available at 40 rupees, obviously we'll go for a foreign wheat. We will buy whatever is less price. So our market will suffer, our producers will suffer. So producers of different countries compete with one another in this way. Now, what is globalization? So that brings us to the main topic, that is, what is globalization? So globalization is a process of integrating the economies of the world. So all the economies of the world are coming together. They're getting integrated. So it is a process of promoting the free movement of goods and services. So there is free movement. There is no restriction. Anybody can go to any country and sell. And any country products can come to our country. So this is a free movement of goods and services, investment, technology, and the people across different countries. People also move through the MNCs. So what are the factors that promoted globalization? What are the factors which have brought about globalization? Number one was technology. So technology played a very, very important role in bringing about globalization. Next is liberalization. And third was WTO, World Trade Organization. Now, how did technology change? What changes have we seen in the technology recently? Lot of changes have come in the world, right? Can you tell me one or two changes? Of course, they're visible on the screen also. So what are the technology changes which we will touch upon when we are doing globalization? First technology is
Internet, ma'am.
internet.
Internet.
Definitely information technology, communication has become very
Yes, ma'am.
easy. What else?
Airline system.
Airlines. What else? Transport. Very, very important. Transport technology has changed and information technology has
IT, information.
yes,
Right.
ma'am,
Software.
software. So these have helped in the development or speedy progress of globalization. So let us see the technology. So first is development in transport. Very, very important. In the book, we have that example of containers. So very well, they have explained in the book. We should explain those boxes also, where they have explained how previously what used to happen was whenever a product is sent from one country to another, it used to come in the truck and they used to load it in the ship. Now, in the process, when you're transferring the material or goods from the truck to the ship, what happens? Some damage will take place, some loss will be there due to damage, but after the coming of the containers, these are those big boxes. So in the boxes, in those containers, directly the companies are putting their products. You must have seen on the road, even cars go in containers. Scooties, bikes, cars, everything goes in containers. So directly, the companies will put their materials in the containers and send it to the ship. So there is no loss during the shifting from a truck to the ship. So this has been a very, very important development when it comes to globalization. So transport facilities have developed. Goods and people can now travel quickly. Of course, speed of transport has also, we couldn't even think of reaching places inside India in 1 hour. This used to take 1 day to travel, or maybe when there was no train, also this would take so much longer. So goods and people can now travel quickly from one part of the world to another. Say, when I'm going to my hometown, Calcutta, from Ranipet to Chennai, it is taking me 3 hours. And by flight from Chennai to Kolkata is taking me 2 hours. So imagine road transport takes longer than flight. Definitely. So flight has made the life very, very easy. Previously, we used to travel by train 2 nights it used to take. So life has become easy because of travel time has reduced because of development of transport facility. So this has helped in the development of foreign trade and integration of market. So this is the first technology development which has helped. Second, we have improvement in information and communication technology. Now, this has actually contributed to the outsourcing of various services. What do you mean by outsourcing? Yes, anybody? What is outsourcing? Children sometimes
Hiring,
understand.
hiring from foreign empires.
Yes, children don't understand. We have to make them understand. What do you mean by outsourcing? What happens? Now, why? Why do the foreign companies take people from our country to work in their country and pay them double also? Why? What is the reason behind it? We should ask these questions to children, then they will understand and remember also better. So why are foreign companies outsourcing our labor or people in their own country? What is the reason behind it?
The
Yes,
skill
ma'am.
what we have.
Cheap laborers,
It is
ma'am.
cheap labor as well as skillful laborers compared to their country.
Right. So Indians are much
Main
more
reason,
skilled.
main
Population
reason
is less
because
than.
Population, in the
Yeah,
population
population is less.
countries, labor will be more, ma'am. Cheap labor will be available.
ma'am,
Yes.
main
And in
purpose
India,
is
when we are
yield cost.
looking, we are good in English
Yield cost.
also.
To save time.
Save time. How?
all the work will be done parallel with the outsource of all the countries. The same time the production will be
Okay,
happening with all the.
Okay. Right, right. One thing is, see, if a person is getting 1 lakh in India, when he goes to USA to do the same work, he is first of all working 5 days a week. They don't have that concept of 6 days a week also. 5 days a week they will work, and he will get double of what he is getting in India. So that way they are very happy to go because they are earning more money, plus they're giving them house, they're giving all the facilities. But why will they take somebody from India and pay him double? Because
They
in
want to
their
pay
country,
more than that to their people. So there also they are
definitely.
exploiting us.
See, the exchange rate. Now the question comes of exchange rate. For us, what is 2 lakhs? Suppose they're paying 2 lakhs to our people, 2 lakh rupees. But in their own country, when it is converted to dollar, it is much less. But when they take somebody who's an American, if they take for the same job, they will have to pay much more. So even though they're paying double to the Indians, they're saving money because the same amount of work, if they take an American, he will ask for double salary of what the Indian is taking. So that is the main reason. Skill they may get there also, but the main thing is they always want more profit. So when they're taking us there means definitely they are somewhere benefiting by. So next is information, what we were doing, information communication technology improvement. So this has contributed to the outsourcing of various services. Communication also contributed to the flow of capital from one country to another. Like we have seen, through internet, you can transfer money, you can transfer money through other means also, GPay, all those. So it has become very easy to transfer money now. Sitting at home, you can do all your transactions. So life has become very, very different because of development of technology. Now we come to liberalization. What is liberalization? When we hear the word liberalization, it means free trade. So free trade means what?
Removing the barriers related to trade like
So no trade barriers, ma'am.
Yes, removal of trade barriers. Now, why did we need trade barriers? Why did India need trade barriers after independence? So the process of removal of all restrictions on foreign trade and foreign investment is called liberalization. Now, the government has taken steps to remove or reduce import and export duties. Import and export quotas have been removed. Foreign investment are allowed in most of the sector. Now we have become open to all investment. But why did we have liberalized? Why did India did not have, when did we start this liberalization process? It only started in the 80s. Before that, we were a closed economy. The reason behind is what? We should go back little more in history, link history with economics here, we can say. So what happened when the Britishers came to our country slowly became very poor because all the money was siphoned away to their country. So after independence in 1947, purposely, the government decided we will close all trade. We will not allow foreign goods to come to our country except the essential items. So by doing this, literally the Indians were forced to develop their own industries, their own factories, develop the economy. So development took place. Until the 80s, we followed this policy. After the 80s, the government said, now the time has come to open our market and let foreign producers, foreign competition come to our country. Why? So that our people will compete with them also. We have reached the state where we have to become better and compete with the foreign countries. So the government wanted Indian companies to compete with foreign companies. This will help them to improve their quality. So we will also realize what is their quality and how much we need to improve our quality and efficiency also. Now, international organizations like WTO started putting pressure on the government to liberalize the economy, to make it more open. So liberalization promoted globalization. Because of liberalization, globalization happened also. So liberalization has helped free movement of goods and services across the countries. Liberalization has enabled or helped the MNCs to set up their units in many countries. Because the market became open, MNCs could go anywhere and set up their factories. So liberalization has helped the free movement of people also across different countries. People started going to different countries for education, for jobs, for various reasons. Now, communication between different countries has improved because of globalization, because of improvement and all that. And the world has got reduced to the size of a village. Because now the world is called what? That lesson, lifelines we have done, right? The world has become like a small village. We are all related, we are linked so much that it has become like a village. When we say world has become a village, means we have very good communication facilities are there. It is easy to communicate with anybody in any part of the world. So that has brought about globalization also, helped in the development of globalization. Now, what was the impact of liberalization on foreign trade and investment? Now, foreign goods are coming in large quantities to India after opening of trade, after liberalization. So, Indian markets were flooded with foreign goods. Now, many MNCs have invested in India, and industrial development also became very fast here. So what happened? The Indian producers were now facing tough competition from the foreign goods. So trade barriers, all these trade barriers which we had, it was finally removed. So trade barriers were there before the 80s. The tax collected on imported goods is called import duty. So this is a way of controlling what is coming to the country by putting trade, by putting tax on them, duty on them. So the tax collected on export good is called export duty. So two types of taxes there, import duty, export duty. So when we are bringing foreign goods to our country, we have to pay import tax duty. And when we are selling our products to foreign countries, it is export duty. So the tax imposed on imported and exported goods is called a trade barrier. Why is it a barrier? Because it restricts the foreign trade. It does not allow free movement. This tax, so today if they don't want, say, Chinese toys to come to India, what is the best thing they can do? They can increase the tax. They can increase the duty which they are paying to bring it to India. So if they increase the duty, the prices will increase. If the prices increases compared to our toys, people will not buy it. So this tax enables the government to increase or decrease foreign trade. The government could decide what kind of goods and how much of each good should come to the country. So it is the government who started deciding this because of trade barrier. So what were the reasons behind this type of trade barrier? This was mainly done to save the domestic industry from foreign competition. When we want to save our industries, we want them to prosper, we want them to do better, then we have to impose trade barriers. So to save the domestic consumers from scarcity of goods caused by export, we need trade barrier. And alongside it promoted industrialization in India. So because trade barriers were put after independence, our industries developed and became larger in size. Now, non-tax barrier to foreign trade. Import quota. The government fixes the maximum quantity of goods that can be imported, that can be brought in. This is called export quota. For example, the Indian government can tell the importers how much they are allowed to import Chinese toys. So they will limit it. What is export quota? The government fixes the maximum quantity of goods that can be exported. This is called export quota. For example, the government can fix the maximum quantity that can be exported to other countries. Now we come to World Trade Organization. This is a symbol for world, logo for World Trade Organization. Now, what was World Trade Organization? World Trade Organization was set up in 1995 to promote international trade. So their motto was what? To promote international trade. So which countries will control all this? Who are the countries who will benefit from this? Yes, ma'am. Who will try to control this World Trade Organization?
The
USA,
developed
UK, like that developed
developed
countries.
countries.
So all the developed countries will want to control the World Trade Organization. Why? Because they know if we control the World Trade Organization, they will be benefited more. They will try to put tax or some type of barrier to the goods which are coming from less developed countries. Right? So it had around 149 members. Every year we should check. There's a change in this also. Now, WTO, World Trade Organization, put pressure on countries of the world to remove all the trade barriers. So they wanted everybody to remove the trade barriers so that import and export could occur easily. So import and export duties and quotas will be removed. Why they did it? The aim was to allow free flow of goods, capital, and people across the countries of the world. So they wanted all the goods to move about freely. They wanted money to move across freely, and of course, the people also. So what is the negative side? Why it was not good? Now, this WTO, they started putting pressure on the developing countries like India to remove the trade barriers. It forced developing countries to open up their market for the developed countries to come and sell their products. And at the same time, the WTO failed to make the developed countries to remove barriers. So here, they are putting restriction, they're putting pressure on developing countries, but they could do nothing to the developed country because they were part of their committee only. So the benefits of globalization, if we want to sum it up, how has globalization helped us? Number one, good quality goods and services. So once the market opens, liberalization took place. Goods from all countries started coming to India. When goods from other country come to our country, we can understand how much we have to improve our goods also. So the quality of goods will increase or become better on the whole because people now have become smart. The consumer will only buy whatever is good. So they will look for good quality products. Secondly, creation of employment opportunities. Beautiful example we have is Hyderabad and Bangalore. The IT sector came up there. Employment opportunities increased and there were less of unemployed people in these two places. So it has helped in a big way. In fact, Chennai also, lot of foreign companies have come and employment has increased. So there are less of poor people. Poverty has reduced also. So of course, they are doing for their own benefit, but we have also benefited because of it. Next, Indian companies improved their efficiency. So Indian products became better. We wanted to stay in the market means we have to make the product better and efficient also. Again, Indian companies grew up to become MNCs. So slowly, our companies also became better and better, grew in size. We understood what they are doing. how we can also improve. So we have Reliance, we have Tata, all these companies are coming up and they are also becoming multinational companies. Then lastly, IT-based services also developed. So lot of IT-based services was required. We needed, because when you want to work with foreign countries, you have to have a very strong IT industry in India. So all these automatically developed because of globalization. So consumers are benefited. So first, who is benefited? We, consumers. We are benefited how? We are able to get good quality foreign goods at reduced prices because competition is there. If you keep high prices, people will not buy. Secondly, MNCs are making investment in India. They're putting money in India. This is helping the growth of industries and the creation of employment opportunities also seen. Third, competition from foreign goods has benefited top Indian companies also. How? They have helped us to improve our quality and efficiency. Fourth, many Indian companies such as Tata Motors, Infosys have become multinational companies. We have our branches all over the world now. And lastly, services based on IT have developed. This has created many job opportunities. So this is a summary of what we did now. Now, what was the negative effect of globalization? Who suffered because of globalization? So mainly the small scale producers were badly affected by globalization. They were the ones who suffered the most because they could not keep up with the competition and they could not reduce the prices. Along with that, they did not have the technology or expertise that these these MNCs had. So they are not able to compete with the products of MNCs, which are cheaper and better in quality. And many small units have been closed down also because of this reason. They could not survive. Next, the Indian companies had started exploiting the workers in order to reduce production cost. They are forcing the workers to, they are paying less money, they are making them work overtime because they want more production. Third, the workers lost job security, permanent jobs not given. As and when required, they used to be called. Along with that, they are made to work for long hours and night shifts. And the money which they are paid is very less. So wages are low also. Now, because we realize all these problems which we are facing because of globalization, especially the small scale producers. So then the question comes of fair globalization. You have to be just. You have to make sure you're doing justice to the people. You're doing fair globalization. So what is that? Now, globalization, which would create opportunities for all and ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better, is called fair globalization. So globalization, which would create opportunities for all. So now the government started thinking that everybody should be benefited. Why only the rich people or the producers of big companies? Why not the small producers? So government has to start thinking on that line. So they thought opportunities should be created for all and ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better. And it's not only the MNCs who will benefit, the small producers also should get the share also. This is called fair globalization. So what steps can be taken to ensure that this happens? The government should ensure that the labor laws are properly implemented and the workers get their rights. So the government should make sure that some laws are made for the people who are working, laborers. They should not made to work for 10 hours, 12 hours, etc. And workers should get their right. They should get jobs, permanent job, not only casual work. The government should support small producers to produce their quality and efficiency. So they improve their quality and efficiency, they need some support from the government. Negotiations should be conducted with WTO for fair rules. They should make the rules same for all the countries, whether you're a developed country, whether you're a developing country, whatever it may be. Rules should be made fair, same for all. And lastly, developing countries should form a group in order to fight against the domination of the developed countries in the WTO. So WTO was dominated by developed countries, and to fight against them, all other developing countries should come together and fight so that justice is given to all of them. Now, special economic zones were created by government in various parts of India. Like in Nellore we have, then we have in Vizag, Sri Perumbudur we have, then Chennai you have Mahindra World City, and in Mohali you have the Quark City. So different parts of India this was done. Now what are they? What do you mean by special economic zones? Now SEZ, this is one important question which can come for 3 mark, it can come for 1 mark also in the board exam. Now SEZ are industrial areas with world-class facilities. Why do you think we need to give them world-class facilities here? Why? Yes, anybody wants to answer? Why
To compete
world?
in the international markets, our products should compete with the international markets. No, that's why
Okay.
we should
What
have
else?
great
To attract
demand.
many multinational companies to our area.
See, when foreign country companies come to our country, right, we want to attract them. Why we want them to come here? So that automatically more jobs will be created, more employment will be generated. Now, when you are asking the foreign companies to come to our country, their people will come, directors will come, they will come to set up the industry here. Now, when they come to set up the industry in India, if the facilities given by India is not up to the mark, say good schools are not available in that area, housing is not available, or water is not available, they have certain criteria which they want, certain requirements they have to come to India and live here. So whatever period, they may live for 6 months, 1 year, whatever, they want all the facilities. So government has to see that these industrial areas have the world-class facilities so that the foreigners can come and see. Secondly, the companies which are set up in SEZ are exempted for taxation for 5 years. For 5 years, first 5 years, they don't have to pay any tax. This is done also why? To attract them, to give them more profit. Third, many of the labor laws are not applicable in SEZ. Laws are not applicable. The companies can make their own rules, regulations. Fourth, infrastructural facilities are developed here. They have to have the best infrastructure, transportation, electricity, communication, all schools, all should be available, infrastructure. The government is setting up SEZ to attract investment so that all the foreign big companies, MNCs, will get attracted to it and they will come and set up their factories here. So globalization is the top Indian companies. So how have the top Indian companies changed over time and how have they benefited because of globalization? So top Indian companies could get new technology because of globalization. The competition from foreign companies helps them to improve the standard. So we have, our technology have become better seeing them. We have also improved our standard of production to keep in pace with the foreign countries. Some of them have entered into collaboration with the foreign companies. Next, some of the Indian companies have developed into MNCs. They themselves have become MNCs and they have started investing in other countries. Now, globalization and the service sector. How has service sector changed and benefited by globalization? Now, companies which provide IT services are benefited by globalization. They are now exporting various services to other countries also. Customer care service for several companies located in developed countries are provided by Indian companies. You have foreign companies which have, say, produced washing machine or television or whatever. Their customer care, suppose in America, generally you have people living alone, right? You have old people living separately also. So suppose a old lady, she wants to operate the washing machine. She is not able to do it. She doesn't understand how to do it. What she will do, they're very smart in this thing. They will directly call the customer. Now she is sitting in, say, Toronto in US or whatever, and she's calling up in India and Bangalore to the customer care service. So what will happen? Now, customer care service people in India, one good thing about Indians is their education, at least minimum education people want to do. And they know how to speak English, read English. Now, this customer care service person will tell the lady in US, old lady in US, how to operate the washing machine by sitting in Bangalore. That is the work of customer care service. After sales service, of course, if there is some other problem like with the product, that is also taken care of there. But even small things like how to operate is taken care of by customer care services. Next, medical transcription service has created job opportunities for several people. What do you mean by medical transcription?
The medical reports given by the doctors in US is made as a report in India and sent to the US people there.
Right.
So
thank you, ma'am.
morning time, they will not be working. Indians will be working at night time mostly. Now the demand of the transcription comes in the night time because there it is day, here it is night, then the time also is matching up.
Right. So in India, you have so many educated people who are sitting at home also. They don't have good jobs. For them, this is a service. They will earn by doing this type of service also. Again, data entry, accounting, engineering work, all these are required also. And for that, services are exported. So these type of services also are exported to foreign country. In fact, we are giving this type of services to multinational companies. Now, globalization definitely has integrated the countries, has brought the countries closer. What is available in the US market, whatever chips, wafers, whatever, we are also getting. So we have all become very, very close now. So goods are now moving freely between the countries. Almost same goods are found in the market of different countries. Wherever you get, all brands are available. So MNCs have developed. They have units in different countries of the world. Services required for a company located in one country are provided in another country. Then people have started moving from one country to another in search of jobs or other opportunities. And lastly, technology has transferred from one country to another. So definitely, globalization has brought about integration. So benefits are definitely more visible also.
My next topic for this today's session is competency-based learning. CBSE has changing, lot of changes have come about in the way we teach, what we teach, how we teach, and with new NEP, more and more changes are coming. So let us see what is competency-based learning and preparing of learning materials, which you are all doing. We are all doing classwork, assignments, all this, how we prepare. So competency-based learning and preparing of learning materials. Now, what is competency-based learning? How do we understand the competency-based learning? Now, what is it? skills connected to critical and creative thinking. We have to make the children think, because nowadays children we should come out of this process of rote learning by heart. They have to think, because application-based learning should be there. So skills which are connected to critical and creative thinking, problem solving, collaboration and communication are the core to successful living in 21st century. So if we want to live successfully in the 21st century, we have to develop this type of thinking and problem solving, collaboration, learn to communicate with everybody. Now, competency is a set of skills or abilities, knowledge that helps an individual perform a given task in real life. So we have to link whatever we are studying to real life situation. So every learning should go into the imbibing of skills, developing the skills that will help the individual person, child to perform tasks or take action to lead a productive and joyful life. So whatever a child is studying, the main purpose of that is to have a happy life. So the individual can understand how to adjust in life, how to live and take responsibilities in life. Now, why is it very, very important? Why do we say that competency-based learning is important now? So competency-based learning or competency-based education is an outcome-based approach. It is based on outcome. To education to ensure proficiency in learning by students through demonstration of knowledge, skills, values, attitudes required for dealing with real life situations. So here the importance is put to real life situation. How will you solve your problems in real life? So your learning should be outcome based at the age and grade level appropriate. So for every age, it will vary. Now, for example, for buying groceries, when a child goes to buy groceries, the learner should be able to navigate the route. So when you're sending a child to a grocery shop, the child should be able to navigate the route to the grocery store on a map, prepare the list of purchases to be made, whatever he wants to be bought, he should make a list. So many steps will be involved. Estimate the expenditure, then locate the items in the store, pay the bills, check the total amount in the bill is correct or not, and list the actual and match the actual purchases. So many things are involved when a child goes for shopping. So what are the objectives? To follow a more practical and professional approach, where first of all, predefined real life based application oriented competencies are defined. So to ensure attainment of competencies through precise, measurable learning outcomes in behavioral terms. So we should know exactly what we are expecting the children to learn. To go beyond mere accumulation of knowledge. So our purpose should not be to just give knowledge to the child. We should make sure the child has learned something and applies it to his or her life. So to go beyond the mere accumulation of knowledge from textbook and test, to enable students to practice this acquired competency in their daily life, then only it will be fruitful. So what are the pedagogies for competency-based learning? Because always CBSE stresses on pedagogies. What are the methods which we use for this type of learning? So pedagogical process, the system of teaching which we follow should be child-centric and inclusive in nature. Everybody should be included in it, as the focus is on individual achievement. Then interdisciplinary instruction, we should make sure subject to subject that link is developed, including scholastic as well as post-scholastic areas such as art, storytelling, sports, work education. So art integrated learning, cooperative learning, reciprocal teaching. So peer teaching, discussions, group projects, peer tutoring, blended learning, online, offline, with integration of ICT, that is flipped classroom. These are some terms which are used by, if you all teachers, you attend that COE workshops, there also they will use this word, no, flipped classroom, blended learning. These are the in things now. So we have to get used to it. The idea is to support students' ability to become an independent, self-reliant, and lifelong learner. So we have to develop a child in a complete manner by using a variety of interactive methods. Now, the pedagogies also take care of individual differences of student. So a child may not be very good in, say, maths, but the child may be good in storytelling or art. So individual child may vary. Issues of social nature of learning and present challenges should be taken up in a graded manner to make learning child-centric. So whatever we are teaching, we have to very, very carefully judge what is the child going to learn from that and how. So how do we assess? What is the method of assessment in this competency-based learning? Now, the criterion reference assessments that measure the attainment of learning objectives are essential feature of CBE. So learning objective, when we see any curriculum, anything from CBSE, first you will see learning outcomes. In fact, for our lesson plan also, we have to write learning objectives. So what is the child going to learn from that particular topic? It involves objectives as well as performance assessment. How will we assess them? Objective assessment has predetermined correct response items like MCQs, oral response to question, short answer, written responses based on what students know and know how to do. So all different criteria will be judged and different ways it will be judged. In performance assessment, the focus remains on what the learners can do with their knowledge, involving assessment of critical thinking, synthesis, and affective and psychomotor skills. They should be able to use their hand, their brains together, psychomotor skills. Now, reporting of assessment result is done on the basis of rubrics. So criteria, rubrics means certain criteria should be devised on the basis of which, so when we are doing project work, what are the rubrics we are taking? We take understanding of the lesson or understanding of the topic, then presentation, neatness, diagram or art has been, all these are rubrics. And students must be able to demonstrate required level of competency in order to progress to higher grade. So to progress, they have to have the basic competency. Concepts and suggestions for success of competency-based learning. Now, these are formal statements that tell us what a student is able to do after learning a given topic. So they're just telling you the learning objectives or what the child has learned after doing the topic. The learning described in outcomes should encompass or include the essential and significant knowledge and skills students should develop in a course. That also should be included. In this process, they generalize their learning and integrate it with other areas of their lives outside school. So they have to learn to apply it to life outside school also. This helps them to learn concepts in a more focused and meaningful ways. Now, learning outcome should be clear and concise statement of the skills that the students will be able to demonstrate after the instruction is over. Learning outcomes should be observable and measurable and clearly understood by all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The students, the parents, and the teachers. They delineate not only the cognitive achievement, but also the values, the life skills, the attitude the student should demonstrate at the end of a unit. So all these things also they are learning when they're doing any topic. So learning outcomes provides opportunities for teacher to reflect on the curriculum, to think over it, whether they have achieved what they wanted to. Context of learning, content, application, whether the child is able to apply, and assessment to be designed for ensuring the achievement of desirable degree of learning outcomes. Thus, learning outcomes are extremely important tools for students, teachers, parents, administrators, and policy makers. So we should be very, very careful when we are designing the learning outcomes. So teachers need to use learning outcomes as a tool for improving education, not as an end in itself. Now we come to, so this was about competency-based learning. See, every year CBSE is coming up with this new concepts, how we can teach, how we can improve the teaching. I don't know how much it is benefiting the children, but definitely they'll come up with these new ideas. And we have to go along with it. We have to understand what is expected of us as a teacher. But at least we should be thankful that CBSE is trying to bring some change. Other boards, they hardly, if anybody is aware of ICSE, for last 30 years, no change has come in ICSE. But at least CBSE tries to bring some changes every time. Now, preparing of learning materials. So this is the last topic. How do we prepare our learning materials? What is the way in which we should prepare and what are the learning materials? Why do we need a good learning materials? What is the purpose of having a good learning material? Now, teaching learning materials helps in making learning easy. Also, teaching learning material helps in making learning to remain in the minds of learner for a longer time. So if our materials are good, children will remember what we have taught. Third point, teaching learning materials helps in making the lesson more interesting. If the questions, if the projects are very interesting, children remember it. Teaching learning materials enable the teacher to express the intended concepts of learning effectively also. Teaching aids in social studies help in illustrating natural phenomena like volcano, rain, earthquake through pictures, through models. Right. Teaching aid in social studies, teaching helps to define an idea, concept in a better way. For example, to explain the direction in a map or a globe. Again, teaching aid is helpful in refreshing and reinforcing. Ma'am, kindly mute. Teaching aid is helpful in refreshing and reinforcing student learning when there is a difficulty in creating real atmosphere or situation related to a topic. So teaching aids, especially in social science, can help the children to understand the topics in a better way. So how to prepare students for board exam? This is a very, very relevant topic now. So first, children should be familiar with the theory. They have to be thorough. Second, they should highlight the important elements. Third, they should understand the answers. Writing of answers is very, very important for children. They should study alternate days, especially all 4 subjects of social science you can't do together. We are very unfortunate that only 1 day gap is there. If there was a longer time, they could have done different subjects in different days. Then they have to rely on interesting study materials. A sample paper is your best friend. Children should always go through sample papers to understand what are the variety of questions which will come. Next, they should not ignore maps and diagrams. They are very, very important. Self-assessment should be done, and previous year's questions are very, very important for children to prepare. Now, tips for scoring good marks in social science. First, go through the heading of the answers. It is very difficult for a student to cramp the entire answer. You can't expect children to learn answers. So to ease the pressure, they can learn the keywords, the headings. Always make the timetable according to topics. If you're good at geography, then try to give more time to history or economics or vice versa. Third, do not start with a new chapter on the day of exam. Never. You should have done them at least 4 times. Try to avoid this because this will lead to confusion and poor performance in the exam. So teaching, learning materials, both overlaps. Teaching materials are what teachers are using, like pictures, posters, charts, objects, films, videos, models, etc. Learning material, what are we giving to the children? Worksheets, activity sheets, supplementary materials. We give so many things to children. Self-study materials, classroom display, and both combined are textbooks, workbook, lab, series, community resource. So teacher skill is visual drawing skill, communication skill, handwriting, photography, graphics, video recording. So all these we can use to teach our lessons more effectively. How to prepare, make the classes more interesting. Visual aids are very, very important. What are the visual aids? Blackboard, posters, flashcards, presentations, printed textbook, of course, is there, graphs. Audio aids, radios, tape recorders, CD, we can make them here to make history interesting. You can make them here, the first speeches and all by famous freedom fighters. Audio visual aids, video recordings, videos, films, documentary, virtual classrooms. Then language laboratory, computer assisted learning. So pre-recorded DVDs, CDs, online quizzes, ebooks, all these can help to make the classes more and more interesting. Of course, then classwork, assignment, worksheets. These are very, very important for us. We have to prepare them. Classwork, as and when we are teaching teachers, I feel while we are teaching topic wise, paragraph wise, let them write answers. They will learn better. Then, of course, we have to give assignments to them. Worksheets should be made to help the children explore multiple concepts also. So all these things will help make learning easy for the children.